You know, in football, when you win, you feel like you'll never lose. And when you lose, you feel like you'll never win. Flaws are always heightened in losses and camouflaged in wins. So the question we're now faced with is...
It's hard to focus with my fans right now.
Whatever would you be laughing about right now?
I don't know if they can hear that at home.
I don't know about you, but I absolutely love this. This is why the Cowboys are America's team. Every single year we read articles and hear opinions about Dallas Cowboys are not America's team anymore. Oh, really? They have Eagles fans in Green Bay, Wisconsin chanting Dallas sucks after the Eagles beat the Packers. What do the Cowboys have to do with this game? It's amazing. There's no greater relevance for this franchise than the free rent that Cowboys and Cowboys fans have inside the heads of Eagles fans and Redskins fans and Giants fans. They all hate the Cowboys. The Cowboys are like, meh, we change rivals every couple of years. Just depends on who's good in the NFC East. The only time Cowboys fans would be chanting Philadelphia sucks or the Eagles suck is after an Eagles game. There is no way that after the Cowboys beat the Packers, they would have fans in the crowd cheering Philadelphia sucks. You know why? Because they don't care enough. Eagles fans and Redskins fans, whatever's left of them, and Giants fans all care way more about the Cowboys than the Cowboys do about them. The Cowboys have their own personal WWE heel on national television. There's no Stephen A. Smith for any other franchise in all of sports that literally spends the entire football season trolling one fan base. You know why he does that for the Cowboys? Because they're America's team. Celebrate it, Cowboys fans. Drink it in. They hate us because they ain't us. Look, I don't want to reflect too much on the Saints' loss, but I think it's obvious why they lost. Oh, yes, you can, Jerry Springer. Yes, you can. The Cowboys' loss to the Saints is not an indictment on Dak Prescott or Kellen Moore's offense or a move to be more conservative. When you go back and reflect on the game film, it was pretty obvious. The Dallas Cowboys were absolutely manhandled up front. Their offensive line got destroyed by the defensive line of the Saints, which isn't something to be devastated about. It's a really good defensive front for New Orleans, maybe the best the Cowboys will see all year during the regular season. The Cowboys' issue wasn't that the offense suddenly changed and that when faced with adversity, they just devolved into what they were last season. No, the Cowboys couldn't force the Saints to bring extra men to the box. And there's plenty of reason to believe the Cowboys could bounce back this week at the home game against the Green Bay Packers. Now I know Tyron Smith will miss the game, but Michael Gallup will return. And when you look at the injuries that the Packers are dealing with, there's major reason for optimism. For one, Davante Adams is not going to play. He's got turf toe, which he suffered in that game against the Eagles. That's fantastic because he's without a doubt their best offensive weapon. And as we saw with the Cowboys last season, when you don't have an X receiver, even if you have Aaron Rodgers at the helm, you're going to struggle to pass the ball downfield, especially for an offense that's already been struggling this season. On top of that, Packers starting right tackle Brian Bulaga missed the second half of the Thursday night game against the Eagles, and his status for Sunday is up in the air. And even if he does play, he's going to be dealing with that issue against DeMarcus Lawrence. And if they bring help to DeMarcus Lawrence's side without Bulaga, well, we've seen Robert Quinn wreck shop the last 2 weeks that he's played, and he'll do the same thing in single coverage on the outside against the left tackle. Now, Jair Alexander has been a stud, and he'll most likely get matched up exclusively on Amari Cooper, but Kevin King, who's been a really good corner for them as well, is probably going to miss this game as well, which makes Michael Gallup, his return to the lineup, even more important here because of the way in which Alexander can take away a guy like Amari Cooper. But look, more than anything else, as in-depth as we can get with a breakdown of the Packers and look back and reflect on why they lost to the Saints, remember that a football season is an evolution. It's, to steal a Jason Garrettism, a process. But it is. The best teams look at the ways that teams successfully defend them and evolve beyond that. Sometimes game film from losses can provide great insight and windows into what needs to happen for that team to improve upon those losses. Football is the type of sport that focuses so much on the here and the now that a lot of times we forget about the things that have happened in the past, or we diminish the things that have happened in the past. After the game ended, the first thought I had was, this seemed a lot like the 2018 Dallas Cowboys. The more you reflect on that loss, the more you realize that didn't at all look like the 2018 Dallas Cowboys. The 2018 Dallas Cowboys looked like a dead end on offense that only scored and played consistently based on luck. This team has too much talent and too much potential for anybody to feel that way with a 3-1 start. For the best teams in the NFL, losses are the best teaching moments. When we reflect back on this season, I'm sure we'll look back on the Saints loss in the same vein.